Welcome back to the Critical Solutions Podcast. My name is Mason.
And I am Josh, and today we have another very special guest. He is a senior at Purdue University, where we went to school together. He's a sports anchor for Purdue Fast Track News. That's where I met him, and we worked together to cover the Purdue sports. He did most of the work. I was a little behind the scenes on that, And he worked at a college bar, Brothers, where I was a frequent at, so I saw him more than he probably wanted. He works there for 2.5 years, where I also personally saw him throw multiple unruly people out of the bar. It was pretty cool. So let us introduce my friend Sean English. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, it's so much better now. Thank you for that really nice introduction right there. That was better than I could.
Of course. Thanks for coming on for this. Should be a fun time hearing all these great stories that you'll have from the good times at Brothers.
Yeah, we could go for a while, so we'll try and give you the good ones, right? I'm not gonna bore you for too long.
Sounds like a plan. So just to start, man, since this is a podcast where we like complaining about things and trying to fix them, what's something that's been going on this week, big or small, that's been bugging you that you want to get off your chest?
Man, so my left tail light is out for my car, and I've just been avoiding driving this. If you're the police, don't look away.
His name's Sean English.
Yeah, you want my social security number, my mom's middle name.
Yeah, go ahead and throw that license plate out there. Yeah.
Third grade teacher, like the security questions, all that. But my left tail light has been out, so I've just not been driving it, during the night because I don't want to get pulled over. It's super easy to fix. I fixed it 1,000 times. Like, I had a beater car back in the day, and I know how to fix those. So I just got to run up to like an O'Reilly's and just buy something and just fix it. But I just haven't been doing it. And my being lazy of doing a 10-minute task has turned into me having to walk like a mile to work because I don't want to drive during night. So saying it out loud sounds pretty bad. I'll probably get it fixed tomorrow now. But that's been taking up most of my mental space this week, honestly. It's not
That's good. No, well, I totally get what you mean, because doing those small things, it's just like, I feel like you push it off one day and you're like, I'll do it again tomorrow. I'll do it again. And then it turns in it's been like 3 weeks and you're doing all these workarounds. And you're like, motherfucker, this would have been easier to just get it out of the way.
I had the same thing with my headlight a year or two ago, where it was out for like 2 months. And I
I'm just gonna wait until a nice man in uniform tells me I gotta get this fixed. Then I'm gonna go do it.
So how did you know it was out, for one? Did someone tell you, or how'd you see it?
Okay, so I have a 2016 Ford Escape that's like custom for what I need in a car. So it's got like all of like the nice stuff. This is my third car now, so I wanted to spend my money in a place that's actually going to be an investment instead of my 2002 Ford Taurus with 200,000 miles that I started with. So I'm actually like at a decent car. So it pops up on the little screen that says your taillight's out. So every single time I get in the car, I got to click OK to like get it away from the screen. But then it pops up. It's got a little little box that says like information. So if I got pulled over, the cop could be like, "You've got the notification right there," and I'm like, "What?" That's
That's what that means?
I thought when they meant tail light, they meant you should get an oil change because no. So
yeah,
it also says I should get an oil change too. So I should probably
let's do one fell swoop and get it all. I like that.
I'm gonna feel super productive
and then your past self is like, you motherfucker, you could have done that in 20 minutes if you would have done it at a time.
20-minute task, and it's been taking up so much more than I care to admit.
See, the oil change is more of a hassle, though, because it's like just enough time to be pretty inconvenient,
Yeah.
Like the taillights, like you buy it, you replace it, not that big of a deal. Oil change, you have to go in and take like an hour sometimes. Like it's just like a part of your day.
I don't want to be doing it. I've got 250 more miles before I should get it changed. So I think the notification just popping up was like get it done soon, which is what I'm planning on doing. But I'll be driving to the Indy airport soon and then back. So, I mean, that's not too far. Was that like 60 miles or something like that? 60 miles from West Lafayette to Indy?
Yeah, probably like an
It's not 125. So I've got a little bit more time to play with.
You can push it out. It's just more of a suggestion, like a speed.
Yeah, I know.
Just a suggestion.
Oh, yeah, I know. Like those stop signs with the around them are always optional, right?
Yeah.
Especially when there's the lines on the ground where people are walking through. Fuck,
Yeah.
out of the way.
As long as you just do a little wave to the people by, then you're all
The
good.
Midwest, like, you guys, so you're from Detroit. I don't think I mentioned that in the intro, but and do you guys have the similar, do you notice similar mannerisms between like Indiana people and there? Like
Yeah, we
like when you get in the way?
we say "ope." Yeah, no. So like we say "pop."
Okay.
We say,
Oh.
I mean, like, it's hotter than two rats fucking in a Doritos bag. Like all the typical like Midwesterner sayings, but that's in the suburbs of Detroit. So my childhood home and like where I grew up is like Detroit, and then the suburbs of Detroit. It's like, how people say they're from Chicago and they're from like Naperville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's kind of me, is like I'm from like Naperville of Detroit, but I went to school. My high school was like 20 minutes away, and it was an all guys Jesuit school, which seems very like prep and very proper, but it was like in the city of Detroit. So if you lived within 10 miles from the city, you got to go to this private school for free. So like a lot of the people from the city of Detroit were in this private school. So I went from like suburbs, windows down in the summer, to like driving to high school and like windows up, no eye contact, like no loud music. You never touch a yellow, because if somebody's rushing on the other side or trying to bite, like even if you got the green light, you're still looking left and right. So they don't really say "ope" in the city of Detroit. They say other things. But I'm a sub guy. I just had a little experience getting to experience the city, which is a cool give and take. Felt like, Batman living two different lives, but none of which resulted in me being a billionaire.
When I put on the mask.
Another
Another question about that then. What, before you came, okay, first, have you been to Indiana before you went to Purdue?
No, I didn't really do much traveling. The only time I was out of state my entire first 15 years of my life was to go down to South Carolina to compete in the Junior Olympics for cross country. So I think I drove through Ohio, but I never drove through Indiana. So my parents my dad went to Purdue, so I've always wanted to go to Purdue. So we did when I was in high school, and I always knew I wanted to come down here. But man, if I could speak candidly, this place sucks. Like, Indiana is gross.
Yeah, dude. I'm with you.
It's home, right? It's home. Home is where the heart is. But man, my heart is far away from this place.
Yeah.
If any future employers are listening, I do want a job, and I will live in Indiana if I have. But I would like to go back home. I'm more of a Detroit, Michigan, anywhere in the other 49 states type guy. Besides Ohio, fuck Ohio.
Right.
Yeah, so many towns in there to hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what people always would tell me because, I'm from North Carolina, which is where I moved back to where I am now. But whenever I tell people, oh, yeah, I go to Purdue, they're like, where's Purdue? It's like, it's in Indiana. And they're like, yeah, I know. Indiana fucking sucks, but Purdue's cool.
Purdue, I will say Purdue is cool. It's a gem, and Purdue is a beautiful campus. There's a lot of cool things happening around here. Number one team in the country, you really can't complain. We've been dominating the regular season for the last few years, you could say.
All right.
So I wanted to ask then, what are some things you would like to change about Indiana that you think would improve people's morale around here?
That's a good one. I love Indy. I think Indy's a really cool, small, big city where you get the big city feel, but you're not worried about your health. I know Indy, in every big city, there's going to be danger wherever you go, but I think Indy's really cool, really new. There's a lot of tournaments hosted there. There's a lot of events, especially a lot of Big Ten stuff go through Indy, and March Madness. I'm pretty sure NCAA headquarters are in Indy. There's a lot of really cool things in Indy. Outside of there, Fort Wayne's not bad. South Bend's not bad. I just think like kind of in the middle, it's like, man, it feels like kind of the Wild Wild West, like in between like city to city, where it's like,
cornfields.
If a corn stalk falls in the cornfield, like, did it really fall? Like, there's no one knows what's going on over here, and there's like some crazy people in between these big cities. I think like the narcotic rate in Indiana is like the highest in the country or something like that, and I don't know like how to solve that, but like when I go to Sam's Club with my roommate, I drive through Lafayette, and man, that place can be sketchy sometimes. There are some interesting people that I've seen. I've seen people get out of their car and go towards their waistband after like, somebody didn't get the right of way that they thought they deserved and they didn't deserve. And I'm like, reach towards the waistband. I know what that means. I've seen enough movies where I'm getting my head down,
Just tightening their pants, man.
Yeah, no draws on those pants. They just grab them towards the waistband, and I'm grabbing towards the floor. But yeah, I don't really know how to fix it. I think there's enough to make it cool. I think the middleness of Indiana is what attracts people, where you could go to Kentucky, you could go to, the Indiana Dunes or Lake Michigan, or close to...
Yeah, the part about Indiana is you could go anywhere else.
Besides...
Yeah.
I say that all the time.
Right.
The best thing to do in Indiana is leave, but
Yeah.
right there, but you don't got to pay like the Chicago prices and all that. So Gary's cool. I've been to Gary a few times.
Oh yeah, Gary's a gem. Talk about a gem.
Go to the Hard Rock up in Gary. That's always a good time.
Now they have something cool to go to. I want to counter a little bit. Being an inner city Indy native, I grew up 5 minutes from middle of downtown Indy, so it's fun hearing all of this stuff. I would disagree with a lot of what you said about even the positive things you said. How you're like, there's a lot of fun things to do. I think there's not shit to do, and that's why everybody does drugs.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Maybe if we had cooler, I don't know, things to draw people here, like our claims to fame are really lame. Like we are the state of covered bridges. Let's go travel out of state to see some covered bridges. Nobody comes for this. We have the world's biggest children's museum, which is dope when you're a kid. But then, really, what else?
Yeah, no kids are paying taxes, right?
Exactly. So maybe if there's more fun things to do, there'd be less drugs, and then that wouldn't perpetuate the horribleness of Indiana.
Yeah, no, I will say, because I have family that lives up in Indiana, so I made the trip a lot as a kid. And one of the things that I really like to do was go to the fucking Indianapolis Zoo. Because I don't know that zoo is just like, I don't know. It's cooler than a lot of other zoos, I think. So you have a zoo. I remember I pet a shark there one time.
Oh,
They got
okay.
badass.
They had a polar bear.
Got rid of it. I don't know what happened. That was like the coolest thing. Went back.
Got rid of it.
God.
Couldn't afford it.
They took it to that farm upstate.
Yeah.
But then they built a big orangutan exhibit, and that's cool as shit. Because they're like humans slinging around. It was fucking nuts to watch. But yeah, there's just not a lot going on. So, but I appreciate, it's fun hearing you think that there is. So like when you say there's a lot to do and you like what's new and things, like what are some things you would do when you go to Indy?
So I've only been to Indy like twice. But there was a NFL conference that was there, and I went. Being sports media, I'm trying to get a job in sports media. There was a conference where all NFL teams met in Indiana. So when I say like the centralness is like, it's a decent place in the middle of everything to meet if you don't want to meet in Chicago. And I think like a lot of like Big Ten tournament, and I'm huge obviously with sports and growing up in Michigan where it's in between Michigan and Michigan State. My dad went to Purdue. I love the Big Ten. So anything that can like increase my Big Ten ability and like watchability basically is what I'm about. And Indy has like all these tournaments. I just went to the Purdue Michigan Big Ten championship game this last fall. Sadly, no, we didn't win, but it was still cool. And I got to see Joey Chestnut eat live when I was waiting for the game, which is they were eating St. Elmo's shrimp cocktail. That was really cool. So I can't say I've seen Joey Chestnut eat in Detroit or when I was in Orlando for the Purdue Bowl game or when I was in Myrtle Beach that one time. I didn't see Joey Chestnut. So Indy had Joey Chestnut for a day, which is good enough for me to call it cool.
We got our star athlete. He's an eater.
No, but you're right. A lot of sporting events are held in Indiana for some reason. Like they do a lot of March Madness games. I know they did March Madness games the first year after COVID there, but I think they've done it like a good amount. It just comes at least near Indiana, you know?
We get a lot of Final Fours. We usually have some list of the tournament somewhere going on. So that part is neat. I agree with you on some of that. But again, it's like once a year type thing. So it makes me want to, like me being from here, I want to move and then I'll visit like they do because they got it down. You don't, I get why it's a flyover.
I don't necessarily want to live in this area, but Fort Wayne's a good market for like my job. They're decent.
Yeah.
Indy is really nice. So if I can get a job in Indy, I definitely won't complain. I'll be right next to Joey Chestnut next year eating some Sam from cocktail if that's what it takes, because I like the Midwest is what I'm saying. Indiana is in the Midwest, so I'll take that. I'm not much of a Boston guy or anything like that. Like, I don't really like the South. I don't like the heat. So Indiana's good enough for me, and I can live with that.
So you brought up Big Ten real quick. I don't think I brought this up with you, Mason. What's your opinion of them getting USC and UCLA and all those teams? What do you think about it? What are your thoughts?
Mason, I want to hear you first, actually, if we haven't talked about this, because I can go on for a tangent. So I want to hear you.
I say fuck that. That's going to be so fucked up. They're literally on the opposite side of the country. I don't see any plausible reason to put them in the Big Ten unless they just want to be in a bigger conference, I guess. But like, no, fuck them. They have I'm sure you guys have seen it. They run this commercial all the time when they talk about the Big Ten, and it's the camera that like sweeps through the Midwest and like all the schools pop up. And so now that fucking commercial, they're either gonna have to nix it or they're gonna have to have it go all the way across the country just for these two shitty little schools. And like, it is what it is for sports. Like, we'll probably beat them in most things most of the time, but fuck them. I think that's so stupid.
I agree. Fuck them. I mean, to be devil's advocate, it's cool if let's say you graduate from the Big Ten school and you move out to Cali, you'll be able to see your team play on a regular basis.
True.
But like, and Purdue being a team or a university with an airport, like, it doesn't really affect us much. But like, if Rutgers, like let's say Rutgers wrestling as a meet at UCLA, like, that's fucking expensive. Like,
yeah,
the program doesn't get a lot of money, right? They can't fly to USC and UCLA all the time. So it's going to cause more headaches about like the scheduling of these lower teams, you can say. And I don't really know the route that's going to go with everything, but I just hate looking back at Rose Bowl games from like 1990 and it's like USC's playing. Like, they're, I don't.
I agree. That's a great point about the travel. I thought more of it as like, and when we have to watch games now and there's going to be like a fucking 10 p.m. kickoff in football games, and we're like, Jesus Christ, it's going to be on until 2 a.m. here. But I didn't even think of like the travel for like Rutgers, because it's still in my head, Big Ten is Central Region, even though we got Penn State, Rutgers, we got so many teams outside of there now. But I'm with you. Both of you guys, I'm not a fan. I hate, now we're turning into, there's going to be two super conferences, it's going to be Big Ten versus SEC, and now it's all these minor leagues beyond that.
Well, and of course we get two California schools to join the Big Ten before we get Notre Dame to join the Big Ten. That's ridiculous.
I don't want them bitches, man. They've been teasing us for too damn long.
It just pisses me off, man. Just stop trying to be different.
If they end up going anywhere, it's probably going to be ACC, because they essentially are kind of in there because they signed a deal to have to play like 6 ACC teams or some shit like that.
Yeah, like Clemson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also thought it was funny, real quick, Mason, that you said these shitty little schools about UCLA. And they're, I think, like two of the biggest in the cover. That was great.
They're not Midwestern schools or North, because only Rutgers and shit. But yeah, they don't have the fucking,
Well,
but
John Wooden coached at UCLA.
He did, yeah.
So, like, there's a little bit of a Purdue connection there. Like, that's kind of cool. I can't really think of connections with USC besides like, Reggie Bush went there. He's like, he's fun to play with, and Madden.
You made a good point about Notre Dame though, because now I wonder if that'll entice Notre Dame to join, because they're rivals with UFC. So then they could set up a conference matchup consistently, maybe, or something. That would actually be kind of neat. I would be on board.
That would be very next level of them.
Yeah.
Shit. Now I kind of want to see that happen, because we can't stop the train. It's moving. The money's carrying everybody to join Big Ten anymore. But
it's a lot of money. Those two teams coming in are going to bring a lot of money.
I also am sad that we'll switch off the Purdue and Big Ten shit, but with Braum leaving, which is, I get he went to Louisville, who spends I think the most on athletics out of like any team, which is crazy. But we just signed the new deals in the Big Ten where each school got like an additional shitload of money. And I thought that was,
here's your playing money.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, I get it because he's from there, but I just hurt to see. So I guess we'll see how this plays out.
I do want to say one more thing about the about the conference thing is, especially for college football, people always complain with the undefeated teams that are just in shitty conferences, so they don't get a shot at the playoffs. If we keep building these super conferences and just every good team just joins the Big Ten, ACC, SEC, whatever it is, they're literally never going to have any chance whatsoever.
It's going to be Cincinnati, Tulsa for the next 6 years, and I don't want to watch that shit.
They're almost going to need to make, it's going to be Big Ten, SEC. They're like the D1, and then all other schools are kind of like D1B type. You know what I mean? Whatever they're going to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate realignment. I hated it when they did it a few years ago with the Big East and the ACC, and it just.
Man, fuck Nebraska and Rutgers. I wasn't happy when they joined. What was that like?
Yeah.
We're the Big Ten, but now we're like Big Ten squared. Like I don't want to keep adding more teams. Like it's not. We're the Big Ten.
Yeah. If you get to 20 though, Big 20 kind of rolls off the tongue.
That is
okay. Wait, what are they gonna call it now? Because I know they said they got away with the Big Ten by saying it was 10 states, even though it was 14 teams. Now that's not the case. So
Big 16, baby.
I say we drop Rutgers. Fuck them. Honestly, they can go wherever they're.
I agree. I was gonna say I want to stop playing their dumbasses.
Oh, yeah, it occurs. So since we talked about this in length at this point, Sean, what do you think they should do differently with either not necessarily the Big Ten, but just college NCAA athletics with the conferences? How would you think it could be better than what's going on?
I mean, I don't really care where teams are placed, as long as, like with Title IX and everything, like football and basketball will have enough money to travel wherever they need to go. Like the cross country, the track, the wrestling, the swimming, diving. Like if those programs can have enough money to go from coast to coast on like a Tuesday night, like then if it works, then go for it. But the selection committees need to be stronger. They need to actually be analyzing how these a 3-loss Alabama team, 3 losses to LSU, Georgia, and Tennessee is way better than a 2-loss, I don't know, like Texas Tech, who lost to like Oklahoma and Texas. Like that. Stop looking at the numbers. Like Cincinnati a few years ago should have never gotten in. Michigan State a few years ago should have never gotten in. Like stop looking at these undefeated. Like if Coastal Carolina is like, when it comes time to December, if Coastal Carolina is in the top 10, I'm gonna flip a fucking tit next time. I'm sick of them. I'm sick of them like having a say. Like play Alabama week 1, and then you won't be undefeated, and then you can't piss me off throughout the entire fall season. Like I'm getting there.
I love it.
I'm screaming.
No, that dude right there, I think you just nailed it. So you know how like Michigan and all of them to pay these little shit schools to like as warm-up games essentially, but they count as regular season. Abolish that and make them play. Yeah, take the super conferences, make them play the non-super conference people instead of this paying to play people thing. That's a great idea, actually.
But when Michigan plays Appalachian State, it is really fun to watch because they've lost Appalachian State like so many times.
That was so good. I love it.
I'm a Michigan hater, even though my girlfriend of 5.5 years just graduated from Michigan.
Good for her.
There's no Wolverines in Michigan. That's stupid. There's no Spartans in Michigan.
Yeah. True. I mean, everyone knows Indiana's running rampant with Boilermakers.
Yeah, that is true.
And Hoosiers. What the fuck is a Hoosier?
Nebraska's the only one that can really, get away with it. It's just Cornhuskers, those freaks.
I bet IU was just pissed about that. Like, God damn it, we were supposed to be the Cornhuskers. Let's just be fuck it. So I want to shift gears a bit. I was thinking some of the great stories you could bring up just from the things I've seen, and I haven't seen that much of what you're doing when you worked at Brothers. But what's something you would change about how Brothers currently is going that you wish was different or better?
I wouldn't change a thing. I like the atmosphere with my coworkers. I like my managers. I like the location. I think the things that need to change are like the student population, other bars, because like, let's say you piss me off at Brothers, like, and I don't like you and I don't let you back in because like you made my night worse, which we have the right to refuse service. It's like it's a given right in Indiana. Like if you don't want to serve somebody, you're completely allowed to. So if you piss me off and I don't serve you, like you got Harry's and then you got Cactus. You've got 3 strikes and then you're out of your college drinking lifestyle or whatever you want to call it. So I think Purdue needs more bars. Like you go to any other Big Ten school, like
completely agree.
It's bar. It's like we got a frat row. We need a bar row. Like we need a Like, and Mitch Daniels Boulevard, screw that. Like, let's not invest in the road. Let's invest in the companies that are on that road. I think it's a pretty simple solution, but I don't know. It's just either too busy or not busy enough. There's 40,000 people that go to school at a given time. Let's say 20 of them are upperclassmen. Let's say 10 of them are 21 or whatever it is. There's not 10,000 people out on a Friday night. There's like
well, we didn't even have
900 maybe.
We didn't even have Cactus a year ago. So really it was Harry's and Brothers, and then like where else was such a coin flip of whether the vibes were going to be good or not, you know? Like
if you couldn't walk in a straight line for more than 5 steps, then you're allowed to go to where else. That's how I did it. I wasn't going there unless I couldn't see straight. Like I was not going there. I was not starting my night at work.
That is not where that's not where you build the drunk. That's where you maintain.
That's where you're way too drunk to go anywhere else, and it's time to go home. But you want to stop in and hear loud music and get, I don't know, a seizure because of all the lights.
Or get beat up by a security guard, like when that viral video.
Oh yeah, went through. Dude, that was in like August too, and I was like, that's a hell of a start. You got one of the 3 bars on campus. Like you really can't screw up unless you go viral.
Yeah,
that was.
Gosh,
I think I ended up on Barstool, and I was like, that looks familiar, and I was like, and people were like, this is where else? I was like, holy shit!
Yeah, I knew the guy that threw him to the ground. That guy was relieved of his duties at the door. I mean, I'd like because bars like talk. I didn't like know him very personally, but
no, it makes sense.
Like I recognized the guy, and I was like, oh. And then I talked to one of my friends that worked there, and I was like, does he still work here? And he's like, nah, he got fired. And I was like, well, is he in jail? Like that's like assault down here, right?
But I guess it's the line of duty or something goofy. That's funny.
So stories. I didn't even answer your question. I'm sorry. I got on a little tangent there.
Oh, I asked what you would change, and you said nothing. I like that answer.
Yeah.
Besides the people. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that. I think because then it would get overcrowded at bars that didn't deserve to be overcrowded, if that makes sense. Like they're not cool enough bars to be overcrowded. So
I think the atmosphere at Purdue needs to change. Purdue needs to become more alcoholic. I do think there are a lot of people that are drinking on a given Friday night, but I think a lot of them are at like parties.
Yeah.
And I think like when you look at Greek life in like other universities, it's like your first 2 years, and then your junior year you're using your fake to get into bars, and then your senior year you're going to bars. I feel like Greek life kind of splits into that third flex year where you're either like still hanging out at the fraternity as a junior, or like going to fraternity parties, which means you're not going to bars. And senior year, it's like strict bars. Or if you're not in a fraternity, I feel like it's the same thing. It's like house parties. Everyone's too scared to use their fakes. And I understand like it's hard to get through to like Harry. Like it's impossible to get past Harry's with a fake. And like we would get basically more money to take fakes at the door, so we would be incentivized to take fakes. But there's not like an underage bar besides Twine.
Yeah.
But they're in trouble now. So, but no, I think more people need to get more kahunas on them and go out and try and use their fake as a junior.
So grow a pair, guys.
Yeah. Pollution, break the law.
I love it. Okay. So I guess to touch on more on the bartending, what's the worst part of bartending, would you say? You might have already mentioned it.
Worst part about bartending, all right. If you're ordering 4 drinks at a bar, don't close out 4 times. I understand you're going to get drunk. You're going to lose your card. So you don't want to open a tab, right? But like if I serve 1,000 people a night and those 1,000 people order like 4 drinks, that's 4,000 receipts that I got to close out at the end of the night. And I got to click in the little system, and it's 4:30 in the morning. Like my eyes are hazy. I'm blurry. Like I had a few spicy waters. Like I'm feeling good, right? But it's 4:30 and I'm like kind of closing out, and it's like, this is hard. Or like if you're with a group of like 3 boys, right? Don't order 3 separate drinks. Do 3 rounds where you pay for the first one, the next person pays for the next one, and the next person pays for the next one. Because that way I won't have to go to you and then go to you and then go to you. I can just go to one person. And like, I remember that stuff. Like I remember when people do that, and I will like serve them first because they've made my life easier, you know?
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Or like somebody buys the first round, if you leave before it, then like Venmo that person or whatever. And I know what I'm asking for is like counterintuitive because like you bring money to a bar, and if you're paying for a drink, then I don't really care. But
but you get your drink faster too.
Yeah,
most of the time, because you don't have to wait on your friends to order.
exactly. So like limiting the amount of conversations that I have to have makes my life a lot easier. But if you're only grabbing, like, let's say you're grabbing casual beers with your boys, like, you're not going to black out and forget to like close out. Or let's say your first stop is Brothers, like, and then you're going to hit Harry's and then you're going to hit Cactus. You're not going to be blacked out when you leave and forget your card because you need it. So open a tab. Just open a tab, especially if you're going to be like continuously ordering drinks for your boys, or like if you can beer and you close the tab and the dude like 6'2", like 220, like that dude could have 12 beers and have a coherent conversation with me and then walk out. That's 12 receipts that I got to keep floating in and out.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that just expect that it's my right or it's their right to drink, which it's not.
Yeah.
Like you have to be given the
privilege.
right. Yeah, it is a privilege. That's a very good way of putting it. If you're a dick to me, I'm going to be a dick back because I'm a nice person. I don't be mean to people. But the second I get an opportunity to be mean to people, I've got a lot of words that I like to say. And I got a lot of things that I want to get off my chest. And if you're the first person that pisses me off, I am all smiles. I'm all like, hey man, saw you last week, nice haircut, or happy birthday, or how's your guys' night going? But the second you piss me off, I'm gonna call your mother a whore. Like I don't really care. I like you want to call the police on me? I have the right to not serve you. If you're gonna be a dick to me, I'm gonna be a dick to you. I don't enjoy being a dick, but just don't be a dick to your bartender, and the bartender might not insult your. Like I've told people some horrid things, and I could tell some more stories as this night goes on. But yeah, if I were to give advice to everybody, like make sure the bartender knows your friends, and not even get into tipping. Everyone knows they should be tipping 20% because the people that work at a college bar are college students, right? So
yeah,
you're not just tipping the bartender 10%. You're tipping your classmate. You're tipping the guy that you see on the bus. You're tipping like the guy that you go out and drink with, or are going through the same struggles, probably have an exam with tomorrow. Like you're tipping that guy 10%. So you don't have enough money to tip, you don't have enough money to drink, and I will make sure that I remember those people that don't tip well, and I'll just cut them off. They're like, what do you mean, man? Like, I'm allowed to drink, I don't have to tip. And I'm like, no, I don't have to serve. You can go to the liquor store and
you're not
do what you're going to do regardless, which is go home alone and cry on your pillow that your mom bought you. Like, just go and do that right now. Let's skip that process. BBS can sell a fifth of Jack for $22.
A couple of things I wanted to touch on that.
Sorry, that was long.
I love it.
This bad boy.
One thing I just gotta be upfront. Well, I don't think I did it with you though. I am a serial tab closer. I don't leave it open. But
but you're also a nice guy, is what I'm saying. If you're mean and you keep closing tabs, it's gonna be a problem. If you close your tabs and you're still a nice guy and tip well on every single tab, I'm not gonna say no to that.
Okay.
It was directed to people that mistreat me. Yeah.
Okay, that's understandable. I do it as a way of if close it, I'm not tempted to just like fuck it, just keep getting drinks. It makes me like physically having to do that over and over, kind of like drunk me, realizing like, bro, you're spending money. So I know to chill. But if I just leave it there, it's not money. I'm just telling you to give me something, you hand it to me. But later I'll feel that effect. So kind of where I'm coming from is that I just want to be upfront on that one. But I think it's great. I love hearing that. Now I'm going to I'm going to take this and I'm going to leave tabs open.
Well, I'm glad
I never thought of that.
I'm glad you said that, Josh, because I was about to say the same thing. I'm also somewhat of a serial tab closer, but I try to tip well whenever I do. For me, it's just like it's partially what Josh was saying about the money, but it's also like I just really like able to just be like, you're at the bar and then you want to leave, you just walk out the door.
True.
I don't want to have to go back to the bar and like wait for all these people to get their drinks just so I can close out. I just want to leave, And I think that's why I did it with you, because you would see me and close it out. So I didn't have to stand there and wait forever. So I think that's probably, okay, that's a good point. The other thing I wanted to complain about the tipping at Brothers, I fucking hate how you guys pool tips, because I like tipping the shit out of someone, especially a bartender, but pretend I didn't know you. If I tipped the shit out of you, you probably would help me out a little more with things. And I love that part. Plus, like, you deserve it. You're busting ass. I could never do that job.
But hey, if I tip somebody a shitload and they split it, I'm like, I'm not tipping that guy. I'm fucking tipping you. And so I always wanted to like,
Yeah,
this
I know.
don't put it. But I totally get, like, when you would explain it, it made sense. But it's like there's no right way to, I don't, you know what I mean?
So when people ask, like, if I give you $20, does it go straight to you? I always say yes, because then they're gonna be like, oh, then I'm just not gonna tip you. Well, I might get like 5 of those 20, but like I still want like the money, so please give it to me.
Yeah. Still means a bigger amount of money that you're gonna get, even if it's not all of it.
Yeah, exactly. But I do completely understand, and I wish because I bust my ass every single night to make money, because I'm not going to be there just half-assed. And then I understand when I'm at a bar, I want my bartender to be quick. I want my bartender to care, because I want to have a good night. So when I'm not working and I'm having a good night, I want my bartenders to be like moving. I don't want them to be taking smoke breaks all the time. I don't want them to be going too slowly. So I was busting my ass because of that reason. But I wouldn't be able to make any drinks if I didn't have any clean cups. And if I didn't even have dirty cups to clean, all those cups that are left on the tables, we have people go around and bring them. So it's like I'm not sharing it with the other lazy bartenders. I'm sharing it to the people that are like helping me like get my ice or get my liquor, or so I can just stand in that corner and I can just pour drinks all day and I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to kick people out. I don't have to go and clean up the bathrooms when somebody throws up. I don't have to go and replace the toilet paper or turn off the alarm or check the back door because somebody tried to sneak in. So if some bartenders kind of get in the zone and they're like, I made 300, but I walked out with 200. I'm like, yeah, but you would have made like 75 if it wasn't for other people helping you out. So
yeah, if you clean all those glasses and stuff, that is a
exactly.
fantastic point.
So I'm all about sharing tips.
Shit.
So if you do ask a bartender, because a lot of bartenders do say the same thing, if you do ask a bartender if they share tips, they probably say no, but like every single bar will share tips, or they might like split it like with their bar back alone if it's like a fancier bar where you bring like the cups back. But if it's like a college-y bar or like a Nashville bar, they kind of all split. And we all make, good money. And if we're all busting our ass, then it doesn't really matter if anyone's slacking. Like, we don't let people work if they're going to like just kind of not carry their own weight.
Yeah, I imagine it's hard to be lazy at a college bar. Like, they're just like there's 100 people at the bar and you're just like, what, are you just going to stand there? No, like, you're going to make people straight.
And those people get, like, if there are lazy people, those people get bitched at by customers and coworkers, because if I'm making 2 drinks a minute and you're making 1 drink a minute, I'm doing double the work, but we're walking out with the same amount. Yeah. So I'm not shy when it comes to like speaking my mind to people about like busting their ass, but it's never really been a problem. We're all there to make money and we're all there to have fun. And it's funny because like most of the people that work there are like are single, right? I'm in a relationship. My roommates are in a relationship who work there, and there's like one other person at the bar that's in a relationship. So everyone's trying to like look presentable. Everyone's trying to like, flirt with the opposite sex to like, make money, make drinks, and also like make their night better or something like that. So I get to sit there and reap the benefits of like girls flirting with guys or guys flirting with girls, and I don't do that. I put my hat on, I make a joke every once in a while, and I make a few drinks. So like sometimes I benefit from sharing tips, because like there's some guy that's like, oh, like, sweetheart, like, you're so cute, like, here's $100. I'm like, thank you for the $20 that goes straight to my pocket.
Look at that, guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. You're pretty cute too, bro. I appreciate it.
So do you think you make more money when you have more female bartenders working?
Yeah, statistically speaking, guys are the ones ordering drinks. So, like,
I feel like guys are also the ones that are like trying to impress by big. Like, if a girl trying to flirt with you, she's not going to tip big because she doesn't think that means anything to you.
Oh, I always talk to the guys. Like, I'm never talking to the girl because I don't want the guy to feel threatened. I'm always like, what can I get you, big man? Like, you call a guy big man when it's 7 Bud Lights in, he's gonna be like so happy. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Better than like some girl saying like, you're really hot, like you're the hottest guy in here. Like, you call a guy man, you're like, I don't know. Yeah,
you just give him that confidence. You're like,
or just like, boom, nice hat. Like, fuck with your hat, bro. Like,
yes, guys don't get compliments. So it's like,
once you compliment another guy, they're like, no one's ever gonna be like, is that guy hitting on me? They're gonna be like, that guy just fucking made my night.
Yeah.
$20. and I want the $20. I'm doing it because I'm like I think a cool dude. I wouldn't call myself a dickhead necessarily, but I do enjoy seeing like drunk people get like super happy off of like 3 words, like big man, or like nice hat, or cool shoes, or I fuck with that drink order. Like, or the same thing goes if a 250-pound 6'5" guy orders a vodka cran, I'm gonna call him a pussy. I am going to call him because you're too big to be ordering a drink like that. And they normally laugh, but there are some people I like to joke around a lot, as big man knows. I like to joke around a lot, and sometimes I go a little too far with my jokes, and sometimes people get pissed. Like, I borrowed my friend's like vape behind the bar, and I like hit the vape while somebody else was hitting the vape just for this bit. And I like hit the vape, and I was like blowing out the smoke, and I was like, "Hey, there's no vaping in the bar." And the guy's like, "You're fucking doing it, man. Like, what the hell is your problem?" And I was like, "What, bro? Fucking relax." Now there's no vaping at the bar. Like, that is a rule. I'm down to enforce it now. But like before, I was just making a joke, and then I went and put the girl's vape back, and I was like, you know what? I use this as a joke, and it wasn't worth it because now this big meathead is mad at me.
That's a good one. I know. Sometimes I think people take, I don't know if alcohol changes everything, but they don't realize like things are said in jest, and they're like, "Oh, Terry Tough Nuts walking up on you up some bullshit." I totally get what you mean, dude. That's when I feel like I don't want to be black and white, but there's 2 types of drunk where it's like you get drunk and you're like, I want to be friends with everyone, and be like, I want to fight the shit out of everyone. It's not a
no, I get it. I completely understand, but I like to. My nut goes by quicker if I can laugh or make other people laugh or whatever it is.
For sure. Yeah, you're working.
Like, if you piss me off, like you've seen, like that one night at Breakfast Club, there were these guys that were there that were just god awful. They were being so rude to me. And they're like snapping at me. They're putting the card on the table. And then one of the guys like threw up in his Long Island glass. And I told him, I was like, listen, y'all are fine. Like, y'all can coast if you want, but I'm not serving you guys anymore. He had like 2 sips left to make it to the Wonderland, right? And he threw up in his own Long Island glass. I have to go and fucking clean that, man. Like gross. So gross. Like, I gotta bleach that now. Like, that's bad. So I literally hopped behind the bar, and he was right there. I almost kicked him in the forehead trying to hop behind the bar. And I like grabbed the dude. So we gave out shirts. It was like a Breakfast Club day that we gave out shirts. I grabbed the dude and threw him out of the bar, because protecting the bar is one thing, but the second you get outside, you put hands on someone, it turns into a different, like, you're not protected as a worker.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, in the bar, you have to do what's necessary to protect the people in it. And if there's someone causing a problem and you have to physically remove someone, you can. And I got a little carried away, and I like grab him, and I tried to throw him so hard, but like pull the shirt back, and I tried to rip the shirt, but I couldn't because I'm not strong enough. But so yeah, that was you got to experience. And like, you see me, like I'm I'm really smiley guy.
I know.
But boom, it fucking switches when I have to do more work. Like, they made me do more work, fuck them. And they're being mean to me, fuck them.
Yeah, they're costing you money. To hell with them.
I remember I was there with Diego and Lee Chow. We all had class, and I had not seen you have to do something like that, but you're not a small human being. Like, I wouldn't fuck with you. 1, because you're nice, but like 2, I don't want my ass kicked.
Well, I'm 6'3". I'm like 190, so I'm like not crazy huge, but like I got long arms. Like, if I really wanted,
you're way bigger than average.
Yeah, I'm bigger than average, and I've got a prosthetic metal leg, like 1 to the shin. You're gonna.
You got a weapon. That's good.
One of those metal shin to human shin interactions. You're not gonna walk out of there. You're gonna limp out of there to your nearest hospital, and you have to get another metal shin and match with me, because I'm gonna kick you that fucking hard.
Have you done that before?
I've threatened, which was enough for people to.
Yeah, dude. I wish I
That's
could
what
see that. Oh my God.
I feel like I wouldn't think of that. Like, thinking of it now, like, obviously that would hurt like a bitch. But if I'm like, like you said, like 7 Bud Lights deep, you're like, I'm gonna kick you with my athletic leg. I'm gonna be like, fucking do it, bitch. You know?
And then you get wailed on.
Yeah, and then I get my shins broken. Yeah.
But I'm glad you told the story, because that's what walked in on. That was awesome. But like to touch on the 7 whatever Bud Lights in, I wasn't that deep, but I remember when that was happening, I was ready to like, and Diego was like, dude, it's cool, he's got it. And I'm like, no, fuck that. They turned, we gotta help. And I remember I was like standing there, I'm like, I didn't want to do anything, but I just felt like compelled.
Josh is ready to jump.
I don't know.
He was ready to jump for his boy. I love that.
And I'm not like that. But dude, he like when he says he hopped over the bar, that motherfucker scooted over the bar. It was pretty sick. And we're like,
I was like
fuck.
Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible sliding over like the hood of a car. Like
it looked that cool.
And I like stood up like super like chest up, like chin up, and like these were smaller guys. And I'd normally wait for like one of my other like coworkers who's like a big dude as well to like at least come over, because 2 versus 6 is a lot better than 1 versus 6. And I knew you were behind me, and I knew if they started like trying to jump me, like I'd be able to take 4 of them maybe, because they were hammered, like they couldn't stand. And I knew you'd clean up the other 2. But
probably not.
I was pretty sure they're gonna try and fight me, but I like got myself big and loud, like and then they're bitching at me, like they're like, come out from behind this bar, like after I like kicked the one dude out, and I was like, everyone else gotta go. They're like, come out behind this bar, meet me outside, and I was like, no, I've got
that. I'm working.
For real.
You're the one blacked at 7 a.m.
That was good. I'm glad I got to see that, because not that I ever would have, but I'm like, I'm never fucking with Sean. Like that.
Yeah, I'm
ass.
all smiles. Like you see me on any given day, I'm all smiles. But like I said, you piss me off. Like I know how to play this game, and I will win.
So I just want to know, we gotta wrap it up here in a little bit, but I want to know, do you think that's your, like, what would you say is your craziest experience? Do you think that was it, or do you have more stories for us?
There's so many that like are similar to that. I see a lot of working at the door. I see a lot of shit that went down at Twammer, which is hilarious. Twisted Hammer. I saw this one dude run out of Twammer with a bar stool, and then this other guy from Twammer like trying to steal a bar stool. Like this dude was full on sprinting, and one of the bouncers at Twammer was walking towards him, not running after him, just like Michael Myers walking towards him, and he comes back with blood all over his knuckles and a bar stool, and I'm like, oh shit. He comes back like 25 minutes later, so he like
he had his way with this guy.
Yeah, it was wild. But other stories for me, there was a guy a few nights ago, so I don't get into many fights now that I'm bartending, but I get into a lot of like little jabs, just like a little jab. My favorite thing to say is like, go to the liquor store, get your 22 bottle of Jack, and just highlight the process, or skip the process of like going home alone. Like, we know you're not scoring, but there was this guy that was like snapping at me, and I want to make this very clear before I say this. I'm all about, I have a lot of friends that are gay. I'm all about people that date men. I'm all about people that have the different walks of life than me. I'm all for that. But I genuinely thought these two were like romantically together, and they were not, and they were not happy about it. And almost to the point where they were like, all right, I guess I'll just tell the story before I keep backing it up. This guy like was snapping at me, and he was like complaining like a bitch because I wasn't getting to him, but it wasn't his turn. Like, you can't just skip in line. And then he I went to the girl right next to him, and he's right next. And then he goes, oh, like it wasn't his turn. And I was like, what are you, 5? I was like, grow the fuck up. Stop being a bitch. And then he didn't say anything. His little bulldog boy from behind came up and was like, what the fuck you just called my boy? And I was like, oh, I didn't know you guys were together. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't even mean any harm when I said it. I was like, I was like, I'm sorry. Like, he's causing me a problem. I didn't mean to offend your boyfriend. He was like, we're not fucking dating. And I was like, you sound like really angry that I thought, do you have a problem with gay people? And he was like, no, I don't have a problem with gay people. I was like, you sound really angry. And I was like looking at other customers. I was like, I think this guy hates gay people. And he was like, no, I love gay people. And I was like, okay.
Oh, so you're gay.
You don't have to prove it to me, man.
You love gay people?
And he's like, well, you want tequila shots? And I was like, no, I'm not serving you guys. You guys are being dickheads. I don't care. Gay, straight, doesn't matter to me. If you're being mean to me, you're gone. Like, get out.
Oh, man. That's good.
So they were getting mad, and I was like, hey, liquor store down the street, 22 bottles for a fifth of Jack. You guys are going to go home alone unless you guys have a conversation about this, but you guys are going home alone no matter what. Might as well just make it now.
Yeah, unless you get pretty open-minded pretty fast.
Yeah, unless that Jack's treat me nicely, right? But it's just like little conversations with people that like get me. Or this one guy tried to buy or he came in with a Busch Light, and we don't sell Busch Light cans. We have draft, but we don't have cans. So he had a Busch Light at the bar, and I like, it is illegal to bring in anything outside unless it's purchased at the bar. It's illegal. Mm-hmm. And if I see it, I legally have to stop it. I can't just like let you continue, because what if that was laced? What if that was, you never know. So I have to take care of it. So I grabbed it and I threw it out. And yeah, I waited for him to open it and take one sip of it, and then I grabbed it and threw it out just as a more fuck you to him. And he was like, bro, I bought this here. And I was like, all right, you go and you buy me a Busch Light downstairs, because I was upstairs and there's 2 floors. Like, you go and buy another Busch Light can and bring the receipt, and I will pay for you and your boys' drinks the entire night. It's free. It's all on me, man. It's all on me if you can just do this one simple task. And then he like was gone for he brought the bouncer up. And like,
man, he was sticking to his guns. Like, you don't get those drinks.
Like, that's like my best friend, but that's fine. Yeah. Like, he was like interrogating my friend. He was like, did you see me sneak in this Busch Light? And my friend was like, no, but like, you got a coat on, man. Like, there's a high chance that you brought it in your back pocket.
It's fucking 10 degrees out here.
I'm not patting you down at this
Purdue, yeah.
And he was not happy still. And he was like, all right, well, give me a beer. And I was like, no, the only 2 people I take orders from are my mom and my smoking hot girlfriend. And he was like, I bet she's not even that hot. And I was like, all right, well, no, you're just defending me as a
what person. A burn.
But I was feeling I'm normally like, go fuck you, like, go fuck yourself, go, I don't know, fuck your family. I hope you trip on the way down the stairs. But today I was like really nice, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be nice. I told him, I was like, I'll get you a drink. It's my choice. And he's like, oh God, what is it? Like, I'll get you a Busch Light draft if you admit that you've been wrong this entire time, and you've been a mean man. And he was like, all right, my bad. It's like, no, I didn't say my bad. I said, I want you to admit that you're a mean man. And I made this grown ass drunk guy say, I'm a mean man. And then I got him a Busch Light draft. Like, who drinks Busch Light? Like a draft.
Draft, yeah.
For that beer.
For a Busch Light.
I should have paid him to drink it, but it's $4.
That's more trouble than I would ever go through for a beer of that quality. Any beer rather.
That's why I was like, this man has some kahunas, and I want to see how far he's going to take it. And he took it pretty far.
Liquid courage.
Did he?
It was right before closing time, so like he like finished his beer and he's like, "Can I get another one?" And I was like, "Dude, you spent all your time arguing with me. Like, we're close." He was like, oh, okay.
He played self.
Did he tip you for the Busch Light draft?
He tipped me like 50 cents, which $4. Like, it's not awful, but you always round up to $1. It's
right,
just easy.
At least.
So when I'm putting it in the system, like $4 is way easier to put in than like $4.50.
Right.
So
that's a good point.
Well, and like, just like you could spare
$1,
50 cents, you can spare $1. You know. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
I always just round a whole number, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like what Mason mentioned earlier when we were talking about something with the bartending that speeds it up, and I'm with you on that now that I know, because I think I've done like a 0.50, but it's never 50 cents. It was like either I was doing $1.50 or like $2.50, like more than that. But if it takes longer, I'm just going to round up with you too, because I am at the point in my life, I will pay for convenience. I want faster shit. So
higher tip bartenders remember very, very well. Like, I could, if you showed me faces, like, I don't really know names because I just see a bunch of people, but I know a bunch of people that like always offer to buy me a shot, always offer to like open their tab. And then when I see them, I'm like ready to close them out. Like, I know a lot of people that I recognize by face that I will give them good service. So if you tip your bartender, let's say you go out for a night that you want to have 10 drinks, you buy a $5 drink and you tip $10 on that $5 drink, that bartender is going to, holy shit, I remember this guy. Like, this guy's going to get me more money. And then next $5 drink you buy, you tip $1, which is still 20%. That's not like it's expected. And then the rest of the night, you just tip $1, and then you say thank you. That bartender still wins, and then you win because you're getting better service. So if you can be a memorable face, then your night will be so much better.
Well, and I think we're getting down to the root of it. This podcast is called Critical Solutions, and we haven't even discussed the problems that this could solve. But so many problems, I feel like, can be solved by just tip your bartender.
Just tip your bartender, and I will actually
bar
one up.
Experience will be so much better.
I think everyone at some point in their life should work in food service, because when you go out to a restaurant in 10 years,
Completely
you'll remember
agree.
when you were a host at Applebee's in 2016 and how difficult that was, or how much this person has to deal with stress. So if your steak is medium/medium rare and you wanted medium rare, don't tell them to send it back. Just eat it and deal with it.
Yes.
And then, because you remember that time that you were a shitty bartender at a shitty bar, or you worked at Jimmy John's and you had to make sandwiches all day. Like, I recommend everyone, like, when I have kids, I'm not going to make them be a waitress their entire life, obviously, but like one of their first jobs, if they want, is going to be, at a restaurant.
It builds character just working in food service, just because it's notoriously just horrible in general.
It's quite,
I'm glad you said it. We all three have done it. So I was talking to my nephew about this. He's 18, and I was saying, because he just started working at Cracker Barrel, and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're going to learn a lot from this that you're not going to realize till you're older. And you're like, I still do things because of working there. Like, things you took away from dealing with people and your coworkers and things like that. And I've been wanting to say this, I keep forgetting to throw it in, but when you're saying people tip shitty or be rude to you and shit, I always think of that when people do that to their waiters, more specifically because they're handling food, but like you two, they're handling something you're about to consume. Why would you piss them off?
Oh, I will put my hand up and say I've never spit in a drink, but man, have I thought about it. Because if they couldn't, like, they can see me when I'm making the drink, right? But
And you just
at a restaurant, man, like, you ask for caramelized onions, like, you might get some caramelized fucking onions. Like, you better be careful.
I would think of the movie Waiting, when they like, oh, we got a bitch at booth 4 or whatever, and then they go down the line of like, one dude does his boogers, one dude does his pubes, and all this shit in the food. It burned in my head, and I'm like, I will never be shitty with them ever. No matter how bad they are, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, you always want to be nice. You always want to be nice. And everything in life, and not when there's a benefit, but especially when it comes to food, man. I'm like, man, that's fine. I ordered the steak. I'll take the chicken. That's fine. I'm hungry. You're here to make money.
You surprised me. This was good. That's good points, man. This was a lot of fun. I feel like we didn't even touch on all the stuff I wanted to. So I guess we're gonna, when you ever get free time ever again, we're gonna have to have you back on, man.
Yeah, I'll be a repeat. This is a very good time. I was enjoying this all the time.
Especially when you're famous, you can plug us this time, and like get us propelled up when you're on TV.
Let's get some merch. Send some merch to my door when I'm
absolutely
the next president of the United States. I'll wear that first round, right? How about that?
Absolutely.
Love it. We'll do that.
I got to get a job first, man. I'm still working on that. But
if you're not gonna get one,
then now y'all would be my first call.
Do you have a reel or a website or anything? We'll put the link in our description for you.
Yeah, it's I actually bought a domain name, so it's SeanAglueSports.com.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, we'll put that in. Everybody check it out. See the good work. I personally worked with him a lot, and he for real does awesome stuff.
I know we're wrapping it up, but this man is so good at what he does. Missing him last year. So we worked, it's a 2-semester class. I had him my first semester, which was really nice. I was able to learn with him. We were both able to learn together. And then I went with another person because he wasn't able to take the class, obviously, because he graduated. I took this class with this other person, and he was good, but like, man, you and I worked so well together, and I feel like that's the same way in any scenarios. Like, you just gel well with people, and you're very like you don't complain. Like, it's a hard job, like it's hard work, but you just like put your head down and you do it. So like, this man has been talking me up for like an hour and 4 minutes. Give me 30 seconds to talk this man up, because he is a damn good worker, and he's funny, he's personable, and like, man, he's the homie. So when he asked me to do this, I'm really bad at like communications. He's major. I'm really bad at like communicating with people. So it took a few we Snapchat text to real text to email. Like it took a few going back for me to like actually remember like that this was something that I had to do because I just my little pea-sized brain. But I'm so happy I was able to come out. I'm so happy I was able to have this cool conversation with y'all.
You're on, man. This has been
Man, y'all better.
Got Josh blushing over here. I see that shit.
I love how you said he doesn't complain while we're on a podcast that's sitting around bitching.
Well, that's why this is cool because we get to complain. But like when we were watching the show, we're complaining. Yeah. And the time right now is 10:13 p.m. This is this man's birthday right now, and he's recording this, talking with me. So everyone respond
any other way.
I can't believe we haven't pointed that out yet. Yeah, fucking
happy birthday to Josh.
Happy birthday to Josh.
It's just the day. No, I'm glad I was able to be a part of your birthday, man. You're the homie. This is a really cool podcast. I really enjoy this. I can't wait to check out more episodes and then hopefully be back.
Thanks, man. We'd love to have you back. We'll have you back. So thanks, Sean, for seriously taking the time, dude. And I know you got a busy week lined up, so I appreciate you doing this.
Again, I appreciate y'all having me. I can bitch for another hour, so if you need me for another one, just call me.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Take care. Be safe on your flight and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Yes. See you, buddy.
Thanks for listening. New episodes are released every Monday. Be sure to rate the podcast and subscribe from wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to watch the video of the episode, subscribe to the YouTube channel at Critical Solutions and visit our website at www.criticalsolutions.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. The links to socials will be in the episode description. All right, Josh, I'll see you next week.
See you, man. This was a fun one.